Hello, everybody, and welcome back to That Real Texas Team Podcast, episode 89. With me, as always, my resident co-host, Mike Sincere, a.k.a. Money Mike, Magic Mike. He's also very hungry. That's the noise that you're hearing. But welcome in. We're going to be talking all about the preview of the Monday night game with the Bucs coming to town to take on our boys, the Houston Texans. Mike, how you doing? Clearly, your dog sounds like he's being used.
He didn't bother me the entire time we were getting ready. He decided I'm coming up here right now. Cameras on, action. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm needing a win. That's right. Said my Cougars turned them Buffaloes into Nuggets last night, so I'm on a little bit of a high. We can just keep it going. Just keep it going. Really?
That's all I'm hearing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he's just not having it.
He's putting on a show right now. He knows what time it is.
Yes, he's staring at me. He's staring directly at me doing it.
He's like, I know if I look at him long enough, he'll give me the treats I'm asking for. Well, look. Obviously, one of the biggest issues last week that we're going to have to be watching every week going forward is the offensive line going up against whatever level of defensive line that the other team's got. And this week, there's no shortage of, some marquee names. Hassan Reddick is in Tampa. And then, of course, you've got the refrigerator with, kneecaps, that being Vita Vea and his big ass just mauling people. So
bitch can't move me. Bitch can't move me.
Literally. And then on top of that, he's a freak athlete. So I mean, Vita Vea is, if he ever becomes a free agent, like we need to be moving on that. But so which one of the matchups concerns you the most? Because you would imagine that they're going to try to put Hassan on probably Ursary because he's the rookie left tackle. And you got Vita Vea against really any of the three guys in the middle.
That makes me feel good about none of them. Not a one.
Which one is the biggest concern?
Well, when I'm thinking about it, y'all do know Ed Ingram has dealt with Vita Vea already.
Mm-hmm.
That's in his career. The biggest one probably for me is probably Patterson.
Yeah.
And that's only because Patterson is already an undersized center dealing with an oversized defensive tackle. The math ain't math. It's whoo.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, fortunately, he's not Aaron Brewer sized, but yeah, you got a point. I mean, the size difference is going to be a problem. I'm expecting just absolute tons and tons and tons of double teams on Vita. And then you're probably going to see the tight ends chipping on Hassan to help out Ariante periodically. Unless, Ariante goes out there and just is like, oh, yeah, I can't play right tackle, but left tackle, bueno. What up, Don? How are you?
What's going on? He coming in there with that whole point. I'm not finna be Hassan Reddick's bitch. And he's just.
I mean, if that is the Ariante that shows up, I think we're in a good situation. But that being said, one of the ways, and Kingmaker Sports already kind of shouted this out here, going to have to use that quick passing game. Not that I've heard.
Nope. We just looked at the injury report a few minutes ago. Hassan Reddick's name is not on there at all.
So, I mean, unless there's some news that came out in the last, 5 minutes, he's playing. So
he's playing.
But like I was saying, Kingmaker Sports kind of alluded to it. You got to get the ball out fast. Now, Stroud held the ball a couple different times, way too long. He 1,000% did not move up into the pocket when there was opportunities to move up into the pocket. A couple of those sacks where he's getting, a 12-yard loss, he's doing the weird kind of young guy thing where you just kind of run deeper away from everybody, and then you just get chased down because you're not as fast as some of these.
You're not Lamar.
Yeah, essentially. Brandon says Riddick smoked Titus last year for Riddick's only sack of the year. Yeah. I mean, look, but this is the best tackle situation we're going to have. There's not going to be a situation where Cam Robinson comes on the field and is the best left tackle we have. There's just no way. I'm not about that life. I don't want to find out about that life. I would prefer to let the young gun go out there and, earn his stripes. That's preferred method.
Depending on how we feel about these tackles right now, Cam Robinson's our fourth best tackle.
Yeah.
Like, if we all like Ursary, like we say we do, and we know Titus Howard was a borderline Pro Bowl level right tackle when he was playing, only right tackle. That's how he got paid. And then Trent Brown is technically still on this team. I believe personally in my head, Trent Brown's better than Cam Robinson.
Yeah.
So that automatically pushes that man to our fourth best offensive tackle.
Yep.
Why would we play him?
Mm-hmm. All right.
I had to look that
up. Sorry.
Who did Hassan Reddick play for? Oh, he did play for the Jets last year. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because yeah.
But that was a bad game. That was a bad game for the Texans in general.
It was. All right. So during the Rams game, Stroud was 19 to 27 for 188 yards and an interception. He also picked up 32 yards and 3 first downs as a runner. Among the passes thrown, 3 went for over 20 yards downfield, 5 passes went for at least 10 plus yards, and another 3 went for at least 7 yards or more. On his interception, the pass was initially caught by rookie wideout Jaden Higgins for a pickup of 24, but the ball was ripped from his hands. Stroud was pressured on 41.2% of his dropbacks and hit 7 times, including 3 forced sacks. While under pressure, he finished 9 for 10 with 102 yards and a passer rating of 109.
So you're trying to say he's good under pressure?
I'm telling you that CJ Stroud all offseason has been working on how to get the ball out of his hands, where to give it, where to send it when there is pressure coming. I'm not sitting here and telling you that he's just fixed now. There's obviously still a lot of things in his game that need some work. Getting rid of the ball a little quicker sometimes. Sometimes I think he really wants the play to develop rather than he knows that the play is going to develop. You know what I mean? Like he wants that deep shot. So he's going to hold on to the ball and hope it happens. And instead of taking what is given, usually takes a sack. Let's see, Brandon. If the Colts and Jags lose by 15 and the Texans win by 15, I think the Texans are on top of the division again. Yeah. Dime, you're right. Kirk will help with that. Realistically, that's where our slot guys are supposed to be stepping up. The tight end, the slot guy, running back out of the backfield. That's where your dump-off valves are. So we should be seeing a healthy amount of Dalton Schultz. We should be seeing Jalen Knoll because it still looks like Berrios and Christian Kirk are going to be unavailable. So you've got to find those safety valves. Take what this Buccaneers defense will give you. This is not the Buccaneers defense from 2001. They allowed almost 300 passing yards to Michael Penix last week.
Now, Penix has some weapons, but
he does. And I would say roughly the same amount of weapons that we have. Roughly. Everybody's hurt right now. So, but you've got a rookie wide receiver that's playing in the slot. You got a veteran guy on the outside. And then you've got a couple smattering of other helpful special teamer guys who could kind of do a little bit of everything. You know what I mean?
That's what I say. Technically, our offense is almost starting 3 rookies.
Yeah. 4 if you count offensive coordinator Nick Caley.
Damn.
Yeah. If you count him. Yeah. Now, with that being said, if Stroud can continue his performance against the pressure and build on it and continue to get better against the pressure, I think that the offensive line woes will become less and less as the season goes on because he's taking all of the stress and extra shit off their plate. Let's see. I personally want to see a good bit of Woody. I want to see what he has. I was also excited when we got Mixon because he's great catching out of the backfield, but we never used him like that. Pause time. Big pause.
Yeah, I get where you were coming from, but even I was like, I want to see a little bit. I want to see a good bit of Woody. I was like,
yeah. I mean, honestly, like I wish we could call him something else, but his real first name is almost unpronounceable.
What is that young man's first name?
It's like Quintarius or something like that.
Oh man, I'm good at pronouncing. Well, I'm good at fucking up names. Let's be honest.
But look, Woody Marks, I think is getting the same kind of treatment Damian Pierce did in his
Joquavius Marks. I got that. That's right. That's right in my A-Leaf dictionary right there. Joquavius.
Okay. Let's see. Can't settle for Chubb. Need the Woody.
Holy shit.
Joquavius.
Yeah. His mom ain't right. She's not right.
No. But if you remember what happened, Damian Pierce as a rookie, he didn't play much that first game. That's exactly what happened to Woody Marks. I imagine that they're going to kind of pepper him in a little bit more now that Dari had fumbled or whatever. You imagine that that's what's going to happen. But I was looking at some of the PFF grades. When Woody Marks was asked to pass block, he made Blake Fisher look like an all-pro.
Holy shit.
Blake Fisher's grade was a 15.8 for just pass blocking. I want
Blake
you to
the snake.
take a stab at Woody Marks' pass blocking.
If you just told me it's lower than 15%, holy shit.
Yeah, that's why he's not used a lot so far. Now, if they figure out a way of getting his ass to block people, I imagine we'll start seeing a lot more Woody Marks on the field.
That's unplayable. That's unplayable. Yeah. I'm being completely honest. That's unplayable. When you have a soon to make $60 million quarterback back there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's see. We'll kind of shift gears a little bit here. But no Berrios, no Kirk, no Jake Andrews. That's what we're expecting. So that starting offensive line is Ursery, Lakin Thomas, Jarrett Patterson, Ed Ingram, and Titus Howard. Now, this is the offensive line that they wanted to trot out week 1, weren't able to because Ed Ingram was not healthy. And I wonder what that game would have looked like if they'd gotten to roll out with the lineup that they wanted to roll out. I don't know that it maybe changes anything because Ed Ingram is a reclamation project at his core. We still don't know anything about the man other than he looked good at times in training camp in the preseason. That's what we know about. We need to see how this offense clicks. They need the same 5 guys out there every rep at practice, every game, for as long as humanly possible. Hell, I want them all living in the same house if I could.
It's a lot of food, but yeah. The thing is, Ed Ingram has at least have to be a better right guard than Titus Howard. Titus Howard's not a right guard.
No.
So that's like me. That's like me saying, "Hey, I want to be a better singer than the guy who sings. Like I want to be a better singer than Chris Brown. I personally believe that's who I am. I'm a better singer than Chris Brown. Now I know for his career he's a singer, but I think I can do better. That's how Ed Ingram should be taking this. That's disrespect. I can't be a better right guard than a guy that doesn't play right guard.
Yeah. Yeah. And I imagine that Tennessee. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the time left before the Tennessee and Georgia kickoff, and read Tennessee and said Tennessee. The Texans have a short leash for Ed Ingram. If he goes out there and he doesn't show something, I imagine they're going to be quick to pull the plug on whatever he's got going on out there. So Dime says he whiffed on a block on the Stroud sack. Yeah.
He's talking about Joe Quavius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that man Joe Quavius going forward. I'm gonna call that man Joe Quavius going forward.
Hey, all right. Let's take a look at some actual all 22 footage here. We're going full screen.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm not sure if the play button and all this other stuff's going to go away, but we're going to hit play here. I want you to watch the offensive line. Okay. Now, first, decent pass set here. Andrews is touching nobody. Andrews just looking. And then let's see. The right side's not doing too terrible. Let's see how things progress. Okay. It looks like Howard passed off the interior player here to Jake Andrews. And it looks like Lakin held down his guy. Now, it does look like Cam Robinson over here tried to tackle the man.
Shit, yeah.
There's going to be some headaches with these folks. But, I mean, this is a pretty solid rep right here by Ursery.
I'm trying to figure out how the hell Cam ended up on the ground so damn fast.
I don't know.
Fuck.
All right, another view here. Let's keep looking at the offensive line. This is a run play. All right, maybe we get there we go. Same play.
We were too slow at getting off the ball. The defense beat us off the ball.
All right, so Ursery is coming down, and he's trying to get 91 here on Titus. He's basically just trying to double him, and he's going to try to get off on a backer and just kind of, get a twofer. He does get to the backer, but it doesn't look great. Looks like he's chasing 91 a little bit, gets out of position, and then 48, the linebacker here, puts big man Ursery on his ass. That is not a good look.
That's the thing. Not prepared for NFL strength. That's really what it was.
Yeah.
Because it's different. It's different in practice. It's different in real life. That little guy that you outweigh by 60, 70 pounds can bench press the exact same thing you can. And he hits you in your chest with it.
All right. That was incomplete pass to Collins. Let's look at the pass set again. Howard out here communicating for the quarterback, the center.
2 taps.
All right. So they've got a stunt here. That's huge. Let me back it up. They're doing a stunt here. Yeah, it does look like we picked it up pretty well. All right. So 0 on the left side of your screen and 8 on the right side of your screen are the interior guys are going out. Those guys are going to loop back in, try to get some pressure on the interior. Let's see what the running back and the center do here. Center picks up one, running back goes out into the flat, and it looks like they tried to hand one of the interior guy off to Ariante, and then Titus tried to pick up the guy on the stunt. I don't hate that.
Now, for me, looking at that, that's a hard one to pick up because it looks like both of the ends or slash linebackers, whichever they're listed as they speak, are in a wide 9. Look how far out they are. That's a hard ass stunt to pick up because they're looping as you're stepping back.
Yeah.
To a point, it's done like that to where you can't see. You literally, the guards can't see these guys swap out. They got their eyes on the guy right in front of them, which on this current play we have on screen being number 91. That's who they're looking at. And number 0 loops behind him.
Yeah.
It's a lot of communication that has to be had with our offensive line. And I get that this looked pretty similar to last year, but it definitely looks like the communication is much better than it was last year. It looks that way.
I agree. And I think that a little bit of that is CJ Stroud being in control of the blocking scheme at the line of scrimmage. Now, this is a run play. We're going to get a better angle at it here in a second. But 0 comes through unblocked, and Chubb makes him miss. Or is that
old man with bad knees, shifty?
That's not Chubb. That's Dare.
Oh, that makes sense. That's why he made a miss. Nothing against Chubb.
Well, Dare is not young per se.
Yeah, but he's light in the ass compared to our other running backs.
All right, so we got a double here with the center and the left guard. Dude's out of the play. You got Cam Robinson taking his guy out of the play. You got Titus and Ariante working their way downfield as Dalton Schultz is getting absolutely worked on the far left of your screen as this guy's just getting right by him.
God damn.
Now, with that being said, when you're looking at 0 here, and this is one of those times where as a coach, you're like, all right, we need to get a little bit further away from the end zone for this punt. You're conceding that you're going to punt. You're just trying to set yourself up for the field position game. And when you're a defensive team, that's huge. You got to do those kind of things. But the extra little bit of yards and effort out of Dare to make 0 look like he'd never even tried to tackle anybody before, pretty solid. He said, "Get off me, son. I'm going to keep going." And, yeah, we're good. Picks up about 10 on that play. I'm cool with it.
And Townsend puts a boot in it.
Yeah, he does.
Guys, like I said, one thing that I did notice there, but I don't know how to really take it because I couldn't see it in frame to start it. But Justin Watson whiffed on this block like hell. This guy's the one that made the tackle.
Yeah. Let's see. Now we're on defense here, and before we get on the defense part, let's pause. We'll come back to what we were doing.
Whew.
That's not.
That's painful. It's a little painful.
A little painful, man. It's a little painful.
But I will say this: why Dalton Schultz looked like he was proposing to that man? He was on his knees. Damn, that shit was fast.
Yeah, Brandon, it is going to be that line. His mama call him Joe Quavius. I'm going to call him Joe Quavius.
Goddamn right.
Let's see. Saw the stats, and it appears that the Texans' strategy was double team Kobe Turner and double verse on different plays. There were a couple of the most double teamed D linemen week 1. Yeah, I don't doubt that.
But it didn't work.
No. Well, when you've got kind of a patchwork reshuffling, it's not going to look like very good. Sad that because of the O-line, every defense that faces us can just drop into coverage and limit Stroud's options. Yeah. See, one of the most interesting things is eventually we're going to get to a point where Stroud is either broken like David Carr or he is immune to pressure, in which case they're not going to be sending 4 men. They're going to send a lot more. And Stroud's just going to dissect the fuck out of everything. But We gonna see.
If we can't block, if we can't 4 guys with 5, it's gonna be a long fucking year.
Yep.
And if we're being honest, sometimes it's 6.
Yeah, really though. My original thought was trade a lot to move up for Armand Mimbu this draft, but there were definitely other options if they didn't want to move that far. Only way to fix that is being able to run the ball 5 or 6 yards a carry when they drop into coverage. You're absolutely correct. Now, one of the things that a lot of people are not acknowledging yet with the Texans, under Bobby Slowick, CJ was not really audibling most of the time. The offensive line was in charge of making all the blocking assignments, and CJ could look at what he was looking at, and he could either call the play or call timeout. So that was basically it. Now that he's got a little bit of options, I think eventually we're going to see a lot of that, him audibling out of bad situations. But it's going to take some time. It's going to be a muscle he hasn't used in a little bit. They were averaging 4+, but that wasn't good enough and similar to last year. Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty decent running game. It wasn't consistent. That's the biggest issue. We can't get consistently 4 yards a pop. If we could, we'd be right as rain.
Yeah, and the thing is, like you said, with the audibling out, with Nick Chubb in the game, it's sort of hard to audible out of a run play to a pass play with Nick there.
No.
Out of the backfield, he's not a threat. Joe Mixon is.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joe Mixon 100% is.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, maybe we need to do like Baltimore. Y'all remember when Derrick Henry wasn't a threat out of the backfield?
Yeah.
So they just started giving him the ball any fucking way?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like he's a left tackle that catches the ball. Just make it work.
Another thing that's going to be interesting to watch this weekend, obviously the Buccaneers have one of the best linebackers in Levante David. He's been doing it well for a long time now. I think he's in year like 14 or something. He's probably going to see a lot of Dalton Schultz in coverage, as well as Antoine Winfield Jr. be coming down and doing a lot of tight end coverage. It is imperative that Dalton Schultz starts to look like 2023 Dalton Schultz more than ever, because we're going to need that safety valve immediately. We're going to need it often. And, you know, if Jarrett Patterson, who's not a strong run blocker, and Ed Ingram can double team Vita Vea and move his ass somehow, and we can run the ball, the passing game opens up a little bit, and a lot of that pressure kind of falls off. But we're going to have to figure some things out pretty early on in that game. We're going to know pretty early on if Vita Vea is going to be the biggest nightmare or a guy who's going to make one big play, and that be it. Because you're not going to just silence Vita Vea. The man's going to get a couple TFLs and probably a stop at the line. And, you know, we just don't want him eating CJ Stroud and using his bones to floss his teeth. That's not the move.
Yeah. The thing is, when looking at it, I actually think we're going to see anywhere between 3 to 4 receptions from Harrison Bryant.
It's definitely possible. He's without a doubt our best tight end blocker. He's going to be on the field. He will be used in every running situation. Now, whether or not we occasionally, hit him in the flat remains to be seen. But he's not a terrible athlete. He can catch the ball. He is versatile. He can do basically anything you ask him to do. So, yeah, I mean, you're probably right. We're probably going to see a pretty active game out of the tight ends.
11 personnel. 11 personnel. I guarantee we see a lot of it, especially with Hassan Reddick coming off the edge. Because like you said, depending on how Ursary handles that pressure, because it's gonna be him.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be Ursary dealing with it. They're gonna send him some help. And we just showed you a picture of Dalton Schultz on his knees. He's not finna help.
No, he's going to be a liability in the blocking game. Sticking with it, I mean, we elevate Bryant. We've got Jakob Johnson and Dalton Schultz in the tight end room. They're saying that Stover could come back later, but this is a tight end room that at one point was like, man, we're going to have like 4 or 5 of them. We're going to be solid. Then 2 or 3 of them got put on IR, and now we're just kind of like, do we kick the tires on Jordan Akins?
Shit, I've already said, I've mentioned a couple times. Hey, how about we reach out to Las Vegas about that Myers kid?
Yes, that wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't know what you'd have to give up for him.
They're not using him.
Shit. Well, yeah, but you know what I mean? Makes you wonder if we will see Mixon at all or if he just retires.
Oh, bro, please knock on wood. That some bitch retired. Oh, God. You cannot talk that much shit and then retire.
I would be pissed. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought I heard Akins is done. He 1,000% is. It was more of a joke than anything else. Because it just seems like anytime we have like tight end depth issues, somehow that man makes his way back to the roster.
Let's kind of pivot. 3 numbers for the Texans. He's worth 3 different numbers.
Let's kind of pivot a little bit. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Our number one thing, we got to get pressure on the quarterback. Now, against with the Bucs against the Falcons, Baker Mayfield was pressured on over 40% of his dropbacks. He was hit. I wrote it down the other day. Hold on. Sorry. He was pressured 40.5% of his time. Sacked once for 8 yards. Went 17 of 32 for 167 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, a QBR of 86.9, and a rating of 99.4.
It actually sounds like he didn't have a bad game.
No, considering that he was pressured on 40% of the snaps. Like, that's pretty solid. Like, coming back from a bad injury at 31.
Joe?
Yeah. Our defense is so much fun to watch. It is. Our defense is so much fun to watch.
It really is. I actually don't have an issue with a lot of those hits that are made and they're calling penalties on. I'm like, you want a guy to stop in midair? Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. If the Bucs tackles are out, I don't see Bucky Irving being as efficient. So at that point, it will probably be mostly about stopping Ibuka and Cade Otton versus the soft spots on the defense. Rams got 8 guys on the injury report. Damn. You're welcome, Tennessee. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if Godek looks like he's not going to suit up, Tristan Wirfs has been a limited participant all week in practice. If just one of them, I mean, obviously Godek's not playing. If just one of them ends up not playing, I still think we have a major advantage. I know Tristan Wirfs is like an all-world tackle, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if both of them play, we still have a slight advantage.
Well,
it's like you just said, neither one of these guys are 100% healthy.
Yeah.
And I've seen Danielle Hunter, and I've seen Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys weren't on our injury report at all. They're not even nicked up.
Yep. It's true. No, I'm with you, but I'm just saying. Titans are missing Latham and Sweat, though. Big bodies missing from the trenches. Wirfs gave up the lowest pressure rate in the NFL, though. I know. Look, he's an all-world.
When healthy.
I'm not telling you he's not. When he's healthy, He is otherworldly. When he is unhealthy, even Superman's allergic to kryptonite. With that being said, let's go back. We're going to look at some more film. How do I? There we go.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So this is our first series on defense against the Rams. Let's take a look at the defensive line, the linebackers. All right. I'm just gonna let this play for a second. I want the other angle.
I was like, did you see the shuffle of those linebackers? They look like they were on a goddamn string.
All right. So we got Christian Harris at left. Mike is Aziz, and then Henry T over here. And then we got Will on the right and Daniil on the left.
Mm-hmm. Communication. Oh, all right. God. Oh, that was beautiful.
So it looks like we've got a fullback going out into the flat. It looks like we got a tight end pulling down. And then the tight end that was chipping a little bit over here on Daniil Hunter looks like now he's going to the second level. So you've got all these different cutback lanes for the linebackers to fill. And then Daniil Hunter over here trying to close the gap. All right, so the tight end comes across, pops Daniil. Aziz fills the first hole. Christian Harris comes over here, fills the second, makes the tackle. I mean, that is textbook defense right there.
That's what you do.
Now, did they allow like 5 yards on that play? 1,000%. You want deeper penetration, but let's see if we can go back here a little bit. Watch these two, or what? I don't know if you can see the mouse or not, but watch 73 and 77 over here taking on Sheldon Rankins, I believe. And then we got, is that Tim Settle ahead of 69? No, I think that's Sheldon Rankins, and 98 is Tim Settle. So both these guys get double teamed and moved. The ball is what, at the 20 or at like the third hash mark here. Let's see where the offensive linemen end up before the running back even gets the ball. Okay, so they've already pushed both of those guys almost completely out of the play. I mean, the right defensive tackle is about 3 or 4 yards out of the way, and the left defensive tackle is pushed back directly about 2 yards. You need more out of your interior defensive lineman. Now, obviously, this is just the first play, so, it is what it is, but the linebackers feel great, and solid play.
The defensive tackle's got to get some penetration over there.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what we're looking at here. Assume this, our first pass play. And that's the one that Sting kind of got a little stung on. All right, so let's take a look here. So we got C.J. Gardner-Johnson coming in motion with the guy in motion. Looks like still Daniil on the left, Will on the right, Aziz, Henry T. Let's take a look at the pressure. I mean, it kind of looks like Sheldon Rankins ate this dude's lunch. I'm not going to lie to you. But Daniil's got to do better on one-on-one blocks. Tim Settle's got to do something. We got him on that extension for a reason, and he's not really doing much right there. But, yeah, Sting gets a little folded right there. He's all right. He comes back. He's not even on the injury report.
Sting had a little bit of a stinger. That's all it was.
Yeah, he got stung. Now, this pass play has a lot more pressure, moving pieces. I'm cool with this. I can't wait for this next angle. Here we go. All right. So at the top of your screen on the right, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Aziz on the L of the L.A., and then Henry T is the other linebacker. Let's see how this breaks down. There's Petrie coming in motion. Now, Will Anderson is like a half a second away from a sack there.
So close.
I think that's pretty solid right there. Now, I want to go take a look at some other stuff. Want to look at the Bucks Falcons game for a second. Now, speaking of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, dude has got to play better, like a lot better. That was absolute pathetic. Now, I'm going to give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt because he hadn't played in a while, but good googly moogly.
The thing was that we just handed him some more. We just handed him some of his cash ahead of time. We just did that this week.
And Tommy Togiai.
Yeah. Who is that? That was still the craziest thing in the world. I mean, he hadn't even played.
Yeah.
And we deemed him enough to bring back. But hey, I digress.
All right. Let's see if I can
spin the circles.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, we need more from CJ. I need them to scheme a little bit better of not putting Jalen Petrie on anybody that's possibly made a Pro Bowl. Just they like I said, we asked them not to put Jalen on Devontae Adams anymore. They did do that. They did. But in a world that might look similar to this one, might not, give or take, Puka is probably a better receiver than Devontae Adams right now.
Yeah, I think Devontae Adams is probably in that like latter part of Jerry Rice's career where the athleticism had kind of gone a little bit, but the route savvy and the hands were still there.
So you mean the DeAndre Hopkins phase? Because that's what D-Hop is right now.
Yeah, I guess that'd be a more direct one.
I'm just saying that's what D-Hop is. D-Hop's not outrunning anybody anymore. But if it touches hands, he ain't dropping that shit.
That's true. It does help that his hands are bigger than most catchers' mitts, though.
Yeah, that will make it a little bit easier.
That adds a little bit of benefit there. But Petrie versus Ibuka is the marquee secondary matchup for me. It's not Stingley versus Mike Evans. It's not Kamari Lassiter versus anyone else. It is Jalen Petrie versus Emeka Ibuka. And if that does not turn out to be anything good, like if Jalen Petrie is just getting cooked,
barbecue chicken.
I think it's a good time to bring in Jalen Smith.
No, I think this is the week that we should see Kamari. Hey, shift to that slot real quick.
Oh yeah, and then you put Jalen out there though, not Petrie, but
Smith.
Smith.
Not Petrie.
Yeah,
unless you want to drop Petrie into that safety position because CJ Gardner is still struggling to get back. Because I saw that happen during the preseason, that Jalen Petrie can still play the safety position.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not being asked to because, shit, we thought we were going to have 3 safeties. But no. Jimmy Ward wants to do some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. People see why we wanted Ursary to get more time to develop now. Did we ever see Will Anderson Jr.'s new movie he was talking about? I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
They would rather spend big money on third string defensive tackles and linebackers who didn't make the squad than starting offensive line, unless it's the Super Bowl. You mean move Lester to the slot? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Better cover skills.
I would, Brandon. While this makes some sense for what's gone on in this offseason, I would like to remind you that we paid a lot of money to Shaq Mason. Currently pay a lot of money to Titus Howard, and we paid a lot of money to Laramie Tunsil, and still couldn't get anything good to happen for the offensive line.
The options for the free agency on the offensive line this year were actually limited. There wasn't anybody like, oh my God, I got to go have that guy.
Yeah.
If they
Now,
were, they were tackles. They
yeah.
weren't guards. They were tackles.
Now, if by the grace of God, Trey Smith would have not signed his franchise tag thing with the Chiefs, I would have been foaming at the mouth trying to get that guy. But
Yep.
here we are.
We didn't want to do like the Bears and buy a whole new offensive line.
But there were still better offensive linemen in free agency. Dahlman went to the Bears, and the Bears overpaid the hell out of him. Becton, he had 1 year with the Eagles where he looked like a competent offensive lineman. I think that there's still a risk factor with him. I think that's why the Chargers got away with not actually having to pay him a hell of a lot of money to come in. But I think that if you're going to be bringing in an offensive line to protect your quarterback or whatever, I think you want a little bit more security knowing what you're getting. And I think that's why they went with Laken Tomlinson, because dude hasn't missed a game since the Vietnam War ended. And, Cam Robinson, while he's missed games in the past, has generally been, available for games, if not entirely healthy. I think that's what they're viewing it as, is like, okay, if we can just get our starting five to not miss games, we might be all right.
Like Zeitler would have been the only guy that I would have been like, oh,
yeah,
that would have been a nice fit. But
hell, missing a stunt or two, hell, that's better than what it was last year. Kenyon Green heard the word stunt and was like, is somebody about to like jump out of a car or something?
He's looking around for like, what do you mean?
I don't see Tom Cruise here at all. All right. I've got the Bucks and the Falcons game pulled up. So let's take a look here. This is the Bucks on defense. This is the first drive, so see how this kind of goes. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the Falcons are missing their starting right tackle. So they're rolling with a backup here. I mean, quick pass. The pressure didn't even have a chance to get there. And Penix kind of torched him, to be honest.
Yeah. Penix isn't known for having a massive arm. He's known for being really fucking accurate.
Yep. Okay, this is a run play. All right, let's identify everybody real quick. So we've got in the middle, big 50 here is our main problem, Vita Vea. Behind him,
put another zero in that shit.
For real. Behind him, you got 54, Levante David, who I mentioned earlier is one of the best linebackers still playing the game. I think 0 is Yaya Diaby, if I'm not mistaken. And 5 is Reddick.
I think that's Reddick, yeah.
Yeah. And then I believe 94 is Kalijah Cansey. And then they've got another 90 over here, I believe, is Greg Gaines. He's on the injury report. He should be available for them. But watch what they do to Big Vita Vea here in the middle, lined up directly over the center on this run play. Not really that much.
Actually, I'll be honest. I believe if he's going to line directly over the front of Patterson, that benefits us.
Yeah.
That benefits us because, like I said, Patterson is outweighed about damn near 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Look, one of the biggest things we've got to do, because Bijan Robinson just took a flat pass to the house. Okay? Like, we've got to get the running backs involved in the passing game early and often. Checks down, boom, puts a little move on dude. He can't touch him. Bijan says, "Oh, you thought? Nope. Also, nope. Touchdown."
That looked bad.
Yeah. This is not a great defense. They're not a terrible defense. That was just a really bad play. But we're about to get to see Baker and the boys on this momentarily. All right. First offensive play for the Bucs against the Falcons at the 40-yard line. Play action. Baker's looking. Nothing is open. So he throws it away. All right. Better look here. All right. So now, if I'm not mistaken, they moved their starting center because Luke Godek was out and Tristan Wirfs was out. Holy crap. So they moved their starting center, Barton, out to left tackle. And then brought their backup center into play. And then I think they moved one of the guards out. I'm not entirely sure. It was kind of a situation like we had last week, where it was just a lot of movement. So, and this 12 personnel. You got a running. They're in a pistol here. You would imagine that somebody would get open, but Cade Otton, who we've been talking about as a potential issue, had one reception, if I'm not mistaken. He might have had no receptions, but I believe it was one. Let's watch the play here. All right. So in the middle of the play fake, everybody's kind of biting on the Falcons defense, the exception of the DB over here. But the line is really selling it. We got Mock coming to pull and hit this edge rush. Baker's got to roll out. And first pressure of the game is right there. He throws the ball to get away and save the play. Smart play by Baker, honestly. Save the yard, save the play. Live to fight another down. All right, second down here for the Bucs. Run up the middle with Bucky. I'm not worried about the Bucs running the ball on us. I don't think they're going to be able to. Bucky Irving didn't get a lot of rush yards this week. Neither did Rachaad White. I'm not mistaken, between Rachaad White and Bucky Irving, they only had like 61 total yards on 21 total touches. So, great. I mean, if we can bottle them up, a lot of their quick game is just kind of all for naught.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can't wait for this play on the all 22. All right. So this is a good pressure play. And this might be a little bit of a glimpse of what we're going to see here if Godecki doesn't play. They've got 6 people. They send 6, but one of them is off the corner. I mean, and then they get off the field.
Baker's trying to get rid of it, but it's not enough time. That's the thing about it. We got to make sure it's not a time.
So Baker starts the game.
Mm-hmm. No, we put him on a short clock. Get him the hell out of there.
Yep. I mean, Baker starts the game 0-2, and then from that point goes 17 of 30 for 3 touchdowns.
It sounds good, but it's a meh game. How the kids say it? Mid. It's a mid game. The 3 touchdowns makes it look better than what it really was. But with that being said, Emeka Egbuka he was a guy. he made sure. Nah, I'm not going out like this. I'm
Yeah.
not going out like this. I should have been drafted higher.
I guess we had some sort of technical issue at some point.
Yeah. We'll work on it, guys. We'll work on it. We'll figure out a way to get this correct.
Yeah. Well, you know, it is what it is. It's the middle of the day. It's college football. We're not expecting everybody to, forego watching their favorite college team to come on here. But we appreciate those that have. So we've kind of covered everything.
Pitbull.
There's the other one. Yeah. We've kind of covered all the big stuff. So is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
No, just like I said, man, cheer for your Texans. Be there for us. Be there for them as good fans. I'm gonna be in the house in my all white for the whiteout game, and we're gonna love it, man. We're gonna do it. I see a bounce back. I see a big game from Nico Collins coming.
Yeah,
There's no way Nico gets 3.
Yeah, Nico's got to have a big game. We got to have Dalton Schultz playing like 2023 Schultz. And then we've got to have give me like number 16, number 17 offensive line and pass rush allowed. And CJ Stroud's going to look a lot better. But with that being said, gentlemen, I want to thank everybody in the audience for watching, commenting, Dime, Brandon, Kingmaker, Eric, everybody who popped in. Thank you guys for popping in. Always a pleasure to have you. Mike, thank you for taking time out of your day. Tell your wife I said thank you. And yeah, we'll be trying to do a live stream during the game Monday. Mike is going to be at the game. We're going to try to get Mike involved. We're basically, periodically he'll just pop in when there's not a lot going on in the game. So let's check that out. Yeah.
Oh God, I hope I can get some footage of my wife talking shit to a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. She'll find it. She's gonna find it.
Y'all suck. Go back to Florida. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. Without any further ado, thank you all for watching. Thank you everybody in the comments section. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Do the same thing for Mike at Mass 3 Productions. Try to help grow his stuff. Chris couldn't be here today with us. He's got family obligations. But thank you. God bless. And go Texans.
Go Texans.